I'm gonna say the meanest thing I could possibly say to these Trump voters posting self-pity videos because they're suffering due to his policies. Now, I don't do personal attacks, so I'm just gonna tell you the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts. You don't get to complain. You definitely don't get to complain about the lack of leadership or ideas coming from Democrats, because we didn't do this to us. You did this to us. If you and I are driving down the interstate together and you reach over and grab the wheel and you steer us into a 200-foot deep ravine full of lava and sharks because you think big interstate is corrupt and you thought it would be funny to shake things up, when I scream at you as lava sharks eat our legs, you don't get to be mad at me for being mad at you, because it was my idea to stay on the interstate.
All right, another day, another MAGA voter about to say something out loud that they definitely thought sounded better in their head. And look, if you're new here, welcome to the chaos. This is what we do. I show you the clip, word for word, no editing, no clipping tricks, no gotcha context games, just their own mouths, their own words doing all the work for me. And if you're one of the OGs, one of the channel veterans, you already know exactly what's coming. You've seen this movie before. You know the moment right before they say the thing, that little pause, that little confidence, right before it all falls apart. So buckle up, because today's guest is about to give us a masterclass in saying the quiet part loud. Smash that subscribe button if this is your first time here, because trust me, once you start, you can't stop. This channel exists for one reason, to let these people speak for themselves and just get out of the way. So let's get into it.
To all of you maggots out there who are apologizing now for voting for Trump, you are not forgiven. You were warned. You were warned when he bragged about assaulting women, grab them by the pussy. You were warned after January 6th when he incited an insurrection. You were warned when he was found liable for sexual abuse long before we even knew about Epstein. You were warned when he was convicted of 34 felonies. And you were warned when his businesses kept collapsing and he declared bankruptcy 6 times. You didn't miss it. You chose to ignore it. And now that it's hitting you and you want sympathy? Fuck no. You don't get redemption for finally catching up. This is your fault. This mess is your fault. So take your apologies and shove them up your ass.
What do y'all mean it's not what y'all voted for? This is exactly what you voted for. Y'all said the same thing when they started going up in elementary schools, dragging children out and detaining them, dragging people out of their cars and busting their windows. Oh, this is not what we voted for. Yes, it was. This is exactly what you voted for. You knew he was on that list before you voted for him. In that red hat. I wish we could sew them bitches to y'all skull so they'll never come off, so we'll know from here on out who you were. I want y'all buried in y'all caskets with them, because this is exactly what y'all wanted. And now you're trying to back off, trying to act like, oh, it wasn't me. I didn't know that. I was voting for his policies. What policies? He had concepts of shit. You knew. This is exactly what you voted for. This is exactly what you wanted, because your heart was filled with so much hate. This is what y'all wanted. But now y'all see the effects of it. Y'all see what it really was. You voted for the devil. You was on the side of evil. And now you don't want to be associated with it. Nope, put that red hat back on.
All right, so you just heard it.
We're taking the word patriot back. I've had such a problem with all the MAGA people saying, oh, we're patriots. You tried to overthrow the government, hang the vice president. Like, you're not fucking patriots. You are not patriots.
They support a man who wants an authoritarian form of government.
Right.
That is not, you can say that you're political, but you cannot say that you are pro-America.
No.
That just cannot exist.
So I love that we're taking patriot back for people that believe in democracy. I'm here for it. I'm excited about it. It revs me up.
We will never forgive them. Strong words. But you know what's funnier than the anger? What comes right after it. Because for years, MAGA had one line ready for everything. The tariffs, the price hikes, the chaos. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. That was the whole defense. Not, he's right. Not, it's worth it. Just, not my problem. Because a lot of people say that phrase without actually thinking about what it means. Doesn't affect me isn't an argument. It's a confession. It means you already know it's bad. You just don't think it's your problem yet. And that's when people show you who they really are. Not when life is easy, but when someone else's suffering becomes an acceptable price to pay. Every clip you're about to see, they said it themselves, on camera, no editing tricks needed. So let's watch MAGA show us exactly who they are. Let's get into it.
I myself am Cuban. My whole family is immigrants. So you would think, hey, I'm pro-immigrant. He can offend Cubans tomorrow and I wouldn't care. And I wouldn't care as long as my life is better and my peers are enjoying their life as well.
I don't care what he does as long as his policies benefit me. I don't care what he does as long as his policies benefit me.
Which policy are you referring to?
Most of his economic policies.
Which economic policy?
Which economic policy? I'm not going to get specific because I don't remember.
Are you a little bit worried about wealth inequality in this country?
Well, no, you make your money. There's no wealth inequality. You either work and earn money or you don't work and you don't earn money. What's unequal about that?
Do public school teachers not work that hard?
Absolutely they do, yeah.
But they make very little money.
That's their problem.
That's their problem.
That's their problem.
That's their problem. Not ours. MAGA in a fucking nutshell. We're gonna vote for Trump. Not so Trump can fix their problem, but for Trump to punish them and get rid of them for having their fucking problem, which is an inconvenience to us. Man, I hate these fucking people.
Can't disagree with you. I mean, it's hilarious. I think this is the most corrupt presidency in U.S. history. with the money they are raking in with the NFTs and the meme coin. I mean, it is so blatant. It's right in front of our eyes. And the funny thing about I don't care as long as we get a wall and mass deportations. If I have not made that clear, I don't care. I don't care.
Through and end the government shutdown, just agree that under Section 71109, we are not going to fund people under protected status.
Sounds like
asylees. That sounds very anti-American first.
Why is that anti? Okay, but if you want to talk about anti-American,
people with protected status, so people who are here for protected status can't get health care. Asylees can't get health care. Refugees can't get health care. So you're telling me if a guy did all his paperwork, did all the legalese of coming into the country through refugee status or temporary status. Maybe he's escaping from Haiti because of the gang wars, or maybe he's escaping from Afghanistan because one of the terrorist organizations wants to kill him and his family. He comes to America. He's here in America, and he's like, okay, I got to get a job and all that stuff, but I need health care for my family. I don't have a lot of money, so I'm going to apply for Medicaid. His solution, this dude, let me show you his face. Let me show you this dude, these dudes right here. Their solution is, I don't give a fuck where you came from. Fuck you. I don't care if you're suffering. I don't care who you are. I don't care if your family's suffering. You don't deserve anything because you weren't born here. Yeah, your life might be harder. Yeah, you might be suffering. Yeah, you might be dealing with stuff that I could only imagine of dealing with. And yes, I'm a fake Christian who only believes in love thy neighbor and taking care of the suffering only when it feels like, when I feel like it. In reality, I don't care about any of that. I'm taking away all your provisions. That's what MAGA is trying to do right now. They don't. This idea that there's a loophole, there's not a loophole. You just don't want to help people. You're just a bad person.
I don't care about the gas prices. To me, it's more about getting people out of here that don't belong and making our streets safer.
You know what fascinates me about all of this? It's not even the politics anymore. It's the philosophy. Because if you strip away the hats, the slogans, the campaign rallies, what you're left with is a worldview so breathtakingly simple, it could fit on the back of a cereal box. If it helps me, good. If it hurts somebody else, not my problem. That's it. That's their entire operating system. Imagine if we applied that logic to everything else in life. Your house is on fire? Well, mine isn't. The bridge collapsed? I don't drive that route. You can't afford insulin? Should have thought of that before getting sick, I guess. It sounds ridiculous because it is ridiculous. Society don't function because every person looks out only for themselves. They function because somewhere along the way, we all quietly agreed that maybe, just maybe, Another human being's problem matters even when it isn't ours. That's why we have firefighters. That's why we have roads. That's why we have public schools. That's why we help our neighbors after hurricanes instead of standing on the sidewalk saying, well, my roof's still on. And yet somehow, the moment MAGA politics enters the room, suddenly compassion becomes a weakness, empathy becomes socialism, and selfishness gets rebranded as common sense. But here's the part that always gets me. Life has a wicked sense of humor, and when reality finally comes knocking on everyone's door, no exceptions, suddenly their problem becomes our problem. This isn't an ideology anymore. This is just vibes. Selfish, self-serving, I got mine vibes dressed up as economic theory. And that is the through line. Not policy, not principle, just one very simple, very consistent rule. As long as it doesn't touch me, I don't care. That's it. That's the whole manifesto. It fits on a bumper sticker. It fits on a t-shirt. And honestly, it fits on a red hat.
The reason MAGA hates immigration is because they fear being treated the way they've treated other people. They fear brown and black people because they assume, because they lack empathy, that everyone thinks the way they think. So their assumption is once white people aren't the majority anymore, they're going to start suffering. But the thing is, the vast majority of people, their brain works and they feel for other human beings, something MAGA is sorely lacking in.
I'm going to need anybody who's still MAGA, proudly supporting Trump at this point, to just come to the front of the classroom and put on your clown makeup in front of everybody, okay? Because you guys stand for fucking nothing. He was the no-war president. He's going to get us out of all the wars, except he's literally out here playing world police without congressional approval, just dropping bombs on other countries, invading sovereign nations without congressional approval, declarations of war, just doing whatever he wants. He's just starting another forever oil war, but you guys don't care. That doesn't matter to you guys. That's not really what it was about for you guys, was it? It's definitely not about prices, you know, because he was going to be the guy who was going to bring them down and Kamala was going to raise those prices up, except weirdly, everything's gotten more expensive and life is completely unaffordable on top of our economy just tanking like it's 2008. Yeah, no, we're really in a bad state and everything's completely unaffordable, but you guys, you don't care about that, do you? That's not really what you care about. And you don't really care about cancel culture or the First Amendment. No, because you're more than happy to cancel and get rid of anybody that says things you guys don't like, you know, like late night talk show hosts that upset the president's ego. Didn't really work out for you guys, but you're fine with it. That doesn't mean anything to you guys. That's not really what you're about. No. It's not about the Epstein files or who's in them or bringing them to justice, because you guys have really jumped ship at this point and seem to not care anymore that your president is mentioned so many times. Yeah, really. I don't know what more implication you need, but we know that that's not what it's about. You don't actually care about saving the children. Clearly, at this point, you don't actually care about being fiscally conservative or reducing our national debt. No, you've let Trump just raise that ceiling up to unheard of heights. You don't actually care. We have put ourselves in way more debt than we ever have under Trump, but that's not really what you care about. And you don't care about small government. You don't care about states' rights because you are absolutely fine with Trump federally legislating anything you guys think is important. But you want to toe the line of small government while literally regulating entire people's bodies. Yeah, Really interesting how you guys have zero moral convictions. You are literally sad little puppet lemmings, herd-minded NPCs at this point. If you are still supporting Trump, just come on up here and get that clown makeup on. And just admit that all you really care about is the racism and white supremacy. Yeah.
You know, I used to think hypocrisy had standards, like at least put on a disguise, wear a fake mustache, change your voice. But not anymore. That's basically where we are. MAGA wanted no more wars. Trump bombs Iran. Well, Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. MAGA wanted cheaper groceries even though tariffs causes price to go up. Actually, tariffs are genius. And my personal favorite, the Epstein files. For years, that was the rallying cry. Release them, expose them, no cover-ups. Remember that energy? Yeah, that energy seems to have left the building, because when Trump's name appeared more times in the files than Jesus appeared in the Bible, crickets. Total, deafening silence. See, here's the pattern. It isn't that the policies changed, it's that the standards did. The rule was never, this is wrong. The rule was, this is only wrong when the other side does it. Then they were never principles. They were just campaign merchandise. And that's why people keep calling it hypocrisy. Because when your beliefs change every time the jersey changes, you don't actually stand for anything. You just stand with someone wearing a red hat.
I just want to say that if you voted for Trump, this is all your fault. 100%. All your fault. You didn't have to vote for the orange clown. The fact that we're going to war with Iran now and they just closed the Strait of Hormuz, which 20 to 30% of all the oil in the world travels through, you can believe that gas prices, as well as the price of everything else, is about to skyrocket. And if you voted for Trump, this is your fault. This could have all been avoided. But you voted for a guy who his name appears more in the Epstein files than everybody else's name combined. You voted for a guy who is so in the pocket of isn't real that when Bibi Netanyahu says jump, Trump doesn't even wait to say how high. He just jumps and hopes it's high enough. And you voted for this. So when your children get sent off to go fight in this war, just remember, you voted for this. And if they come back in a body bag, you voted for that too. The idea that you were voted just because I don't care. I don't think anybody cares. If you voted for Donald Trump, this shit's all your fault.
So here's the current state of MAGA. They're saying they just don't care if Trump did terrible things to minors. It doesn't matter to them. Take a look. This guy says, I don't give a single F if Donald Trump was with 17-year-olds in bikinis or if he slept with them. I care about deportations. When I see Indians and Mexicans in my country, I don't think, well, at least Joe Biden wasn't friends with Epstein. I can't believe this is what the MAGA movement has become, openly shrugging off SA of minors. Not arguing it didn't happen, not denying it, not even pretending to be outraged. Just saying that if Trump did terrible things to a 17-year-old against her will, they don't care. This is not politics anymore. That is moral bankruptcy. They've been conditioned to defend anything that Trump does, no matter how obviously evil it is. It's crazy to think these are the same people who have spent years screaming about protecting the children and trying to accuse trans people of grooming them. But when it comes to Donald Trump, the man who was found liable in court for SA and has been proven to be Epstein's best friend, suddenly they don't care. Just think about it. The fact that there are brown people in this country upsets them more than a grown man sleeping with a child.
Not one person that's leaving MAGA is leaving because they feel they've done something wrong. They're not leaving because they've finally come into alignment with what is righteous, what is good, what is honest. They're not leaving because they are assessing their moral compass and realize how fucked up it is to vote for a racist, pedophile, convicted felon. They are not leaving because they see the ways in which Trump has harmed and is harming people on the margin, right? People who are black and brown, people of the LGBTQIA community, any of that. They are only leaving MAGA because they feel like they were betrayed. They feel like they are the victim. They feel like Trump fucked them over. I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy for the leaving MAGA. I have nothing for them because it's really not about all of society for them. It's not about, taking care of your neighbor or seeing the hurt in somebody else's story, are hoping and wanting all of us to have equity and inclusion and justice in this world. It's not about that for them. It's just that if you fuck me over, if it impacts me, I don't like it anymore. That is the exact mentality that got us here in the first damn place. I don't give a shit about forgiving or sharing space or listening to or understanding anybody now who says they left MAGA.
Thank you for watching those clips and thank you for being part of this great community.
Democrats have one message for regretful MAGA voters. As you can see what is circulating on the internet these days, some MAGA voters are regretting the choice they made during the election period. The political conversation is growing, and some MAGA who once strongly supported MAGA say they have become frustrated with the direction of the country. For those voters, Democrats have a simple message. If you believe your political choices aren't working for you, you are allowed to change your mind. Politics is not a lifelong contract. People can reconsider their view after seeing how policies affect their families, communities, jobs, and finances. Some former Trump voters are saying their concerns include the cost of living, healthcare, political division, and the direction of the government. Others still support Trump but disagree with certain policies. Democrats are hoping this frustration could create an opening with voters who previously wouldn't have considered voting for them. But winning those voters won't simply become more from criticizing MAGA. Democrats will also have to convince them that they have practical answer to the problem they are experiencing. And that's where the real political battle begins. Because in America politics, voters can change their mind, and when enough people do, election can change dramatically. If you enjoy this commentary, like this video, subscribe, and share with like-minded people, and turn on the notification bell for more discussion about American politics, events, economy, and world entirely. Tell us in the comments if a voter regrets their previous political choice, should they consider their vote or stay with the original party? Thank you. See you in the next one.